Welcome to Ham Nation, episode 539 for February 1st, 2023. And a hearty hello to everybody. Thanks for clicking on the Ham Radio Crash Course to watch this episode of Ham Nation. We're getting ready for Hamcation, and we're going to talk to everybody about it real soon here. So let's say first hi to all the hosts we have tonight. All right. Well, I will mention right up front, Gordo is still desert bound. He was at Quartz Fest this week, so he's still digging himself out, I think. So he'll be back next episode. But starting up at the top, how you doing, Joe?
I'm doing great, and looking forward to coming down to Hamcation. And so right after Michael is done, we're going to show some pictures from my past adventures at Hamcation and the kit that we're actually going to work on a week from today. And maybe I'll show an antenna I worked on last weekend.
Fantastic. All right. Dawn, how are you? You're looking very camo. I only see you from your head up. You're completely invisible down here.
I know. It was kind of cool today. And it's always cool in the office at work. So I wore the nice Columbia camo shirt. Yeah, we're doing good down here. We're finally drying out a little bit. We got so much rain last weekend. It was horrible. Finally beginning to dry out a little bit, and I have a day off tomorrow, so I'm really going to enjoy that. Well, I'm going to be living vicariously through all of you because even in my 25 years or so of being a ham, I have yet to make it to Hamcation. I've been to Hamvention a bunch, but I have yet to make it to Orlando. It just seems like the wrong time of the year for me, but it's a bucket list item that I promise I will get to one of these days. We don't have a solar report from Dr. T tonight. She's been pretty busy, but of course you can always go check her website and her YouTube and Twitter and everything else. We'll tell you all about that a bit later on. But we do have a nice report from the folks at Amateur Radio Newsline, and I'm looking forward to hearing about Hamcation, Josh.
Indeed, you can't beat the weather this time of year. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
And Amanda, how are you doing? Hanging in there, I hope.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to keep my voice together here long enough to do this. Anyhow, good evening, everyone. We're also going to be talking about not only Hamcation, which always, again, comes at the wrong time of year for me too, Dawn, because it's right after Christmas and it's really hard to put together money and things like that. So We're also going to be talking about Bouvet Island and giving you some updates from their Facebook page and the AM rally that's coming up this weekend, which I hope you guys all dabble in. It's been an interesting and a learning experience for me. So we'll talk about that a little bit. So I'll be paying attention to your questions in the chat room. Dawn's going to take it, I think, from here, and I'll be around.
All right. Well, let's go ahead, I guess, and jump on in, and let's talk to Michael Cauley, who is with the Orlando Hamcation. Good evening, Michael. Thanks for joining us tonight. How are you?
I'm good tonight, Don. Just actually here live at the fairgrounds. We just finished up our club meeting here. I'm actually in the north building where the prize booth would be at.
Well, perfect. Well, I'm the perfect guy to do this interview because I know nothing about Hamcation other than the fact that I know it's in Orlando and I know how to spell Hamcation because it's really, really close to Ham Nation. So tell me, as the uninitiated, exactly what I need to know for when I do eventually make it down there to Orlando and Hamcation.
Hamcation is a great event. We're actually the second largest amateur radio trade show in the world, right behind Hamvention. Of course, it's in February, and usually we have very nice weather here compared to the rest of the country during February.
So tell us, just keep going, Michael. I know nothing. Tell me everything about it. Tell me as if I'm a newborn baby and I have no idea what's even going on down there.
All right, Don. Hamcation is February 10th, 11th, and 12th at the Central Florida Fairgrounds in Orlando, Florida. We have commercial vendors. We have indoor swaps area. We have outdoor tailgate area. The fairgrounds is set on 83 acres, and we take up the whole fairgrounds. So it's a very large event. A lot of different things to do here. Of course, it's Hamcation. The part of it is like vacation. So bring your family and enjoy the other areas that you can visit in Central Florida while you're here too.
Yeah, that's like the vacation hotspot of the world, pretty much Central Florida. If you can't find something to do in Orlando, there's something wrong with you. You shouldn't be allowed in the house. Okay, so there is also, I guess, other than the website, a really good way to keep track of what's going on there and find out exactly what's going on is you have an app.
Correct. Ourselves and Dayton actually partnered with ARRL, and we are actually using the ARL Events app. So all the information on the website is on the event app. It is for iOS, Android, and there's actually a browser version if you just have a browser to view it. But you can go in there. You can see all the prize drawings live, what forms you have. You can see all the vendors, any important announcements during the show we can push to it also. So basically it's your one-stop shop for Hamcation.
That sounds like a great tool, even when you're there on site and you're looking for what's the next forum coming up. You can pull it up right there on the phone. That's excellent. What else is going on? Do you have I mean, I've been to Hamvention a bunch of times. I know that they have the special event station. Are you going to have a special event station on site there as well?
Correct. We will this year. Special event station was actually sponsored by ICOM. We will have a 7610 and a 9700 will be operating. And we will actually be using the ARL W4, or I'm sorry, W1AW stroke 4 during Hamcation.
Well, that will be easy to find for sure. Great. Well, what else can you tell us, Michael? Like I said, I'm a total and complete newbie to Hamcation, and I'm probably the worst person to do this interview because I'm completely and totally unprepared for it. But Amanda has lost her voice. She
You are
Out,
unprepared.
so I am. Well, you're a better interviewer than I am.
Actually,
Anyway.
okay. Let me ask him one question.
Okay.
Michael. This is really important to me, so I'm hoping it's important to you. How many volunteers does it take to pull this off and to get this organized?
Altogether, over the whole week when we start out here, we have around 400 volunteers out here to pull off the show.
Do you still have availability if anyone wants to volunteer, or is that window closed now?
We do. If you email volunteers@hamcation.com, and right now it's closed on the website, but if you send an email there, we can get you scheduled in one of the areas that we still need help. And if you do volunteer for 4 hours, you do get a free Hamcation ticket.
There you go. It's a heck of a deal. Any other Hamcation websites that we need to know about if anyone has any last-minute questions or needs some more information about anything?
Pretty much everything will be on there. The biggest thing during the show, you can go there to view the prizes. All the prizes will be up there. As we draw them every hour, we will put them up there also. Check out our social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Hamcation is the handles for all three of those. So all that will be live also during the event for the attendees to keep track of everything.
Great. And again, that's coming up this weekend, right?
Not this weekend, the following weekend.
Weekend. Okay.
Correct.
Well, and I don't know how I got this email, but I did get something from PR at Hamcation. Now, we have some award winners, right, Michael?
We did, yes. We give out 3 awards this year. 2 of them went to the Carol Perry Educator of the Year Award, which one of them was Jim Storms from Dara, and the other one was Ken Lyons, which is actually local here, for their support of youth in amateur radio. And the new award this year was actually the Gordon West Ambassador of the Year Award, which was the first time this year having that award, and it went to John Bigley out of Nevada.
And let me guess, you need to be a pretty good ambassador to, or is this peer nominated?
It is peer nominated. So usually in August, September, we open it up for nominations, and then we have a selection committee for each award, and they select the winners based on the information that people nominate.
Right. So, Don, the only thing you didn't find out about is which Airbnb you can stay at when you decide to go.
Yeah, that's right. Unless you have a camper. Is there camping available?
There is. That's the one nice thing about us here at Hamcation. We have the largest amount of RVs during an event. So we can host over 200 RVs on site with 4 full water and power hookups. And every year we do get over 200 RVs.
Are you at that number this year?
Central Florida is kind of the RV capital of the world anyway, it seems like.
It is. I think Josh asked me something. What was it?
Yeah.
Are you close to that 200 now this year, getting close?
Correct. We are. We're actually, I think we're over 200. I think like 203 as somebody's telling me in the background.
Wow.
So I got a question. The big thing, one of my favorite things at any Hamfest is, you call it the tailgate, but the swap meet and all that. And I'm assuming it's kind of similar to what it was last year. Is there any changes there that one might expect?
A little bit. We kind of changed the layout of it a little bit. We got some new areas that we're going to be using. So we're going to actually expand it out a little bit. So on the map that you're showing right now, if you look toward the left past the swaps area, and where you see the forums at, that building has actually been torn down and a new one across from it. So that area is all grass now. So we're going to actually use a lot of that area for tailgate also this year.
Oh, that's excellent.
Very good.
How about food?
Very good. Yeah. Yeah. Food.
Yeah, that's.
I'm hungry. How about food?
Anything you want to mention about food this year?
We'll have food here this year. A lot of the new vendors coming. We do have a new barbecue vendor coming this year. And a big hit from last year was the wood-fired pizza, and that person will be back again this year. So they have an actual little wood-fired pizza oven set up outside, and they make pizzas to order for you.
Wow. Do you do the food truck thing like Hamvention does?
Not exactly. They do bring in food trucks, but it's more like fair food. Here,
I gotcha.
That's how they do it.
Okay.
So you can get like Philly cheesesteaks, right, sausage, stuff like that.
That sounds great.
I pulled up the forum schedule. You have a lot of talks like you did last year. What is there anything new in the forum area that you want to mention that maybe wasn't there last year, or something you're kind of excited about? You think is going to be a big one?
This year we actually changed it up a little bit with COVID. Everybody coming out of COVID, and there's so many shows happening here in Orlando now. With different conventions and stuff, it was hard to get the clear span tents, so we could only get 2 of them this year, unfortunately. We usually had 4. So what we've done is we've went with 2 clear span tents, and for people that's been there before, we put it actually under the pavilion out there. So the other side of the pavilion, we're going to have what's called OS Pavilion, which is open space pavilion. We're going to actually set up forum area outside under there with a big TV, speakers, all that. So we'll actually be doing 3 forum areas at the same time.
What do you have going on as far as forums? Can you kind of give us a rundown? I know that Eisenberg nerd's going to be there.
Eisenberg has his. ARL has several of them. The Teacher Institute one. There's doing one on Aries. I know. I'm trying to think here of all of them that's on there. There's a lot of them on there. We have like 30-something forums.
I already know what I'm going to go.
Josh is
I'm
pulling up
the
Moonbounce website now. Yeah. And I say Eisenberg nerd in only the most loving and complimentary way, because he and I are dear friends. I love that guy.
And I do know Dare is doing a forum also. Carrie Perry is actually doing her youth forum on there also.
That's a don't miss.
Yeah, a lot of the vendors are doing forums. Elecraft, Flex are both doing forums. Yezu is doing a forum. So there is Eris is doing a forum. So AMSAT. So
ADSB.
What was it?
ADSB Exchange is also.
Yes, they're actually a new vendor for us this year, and they are doing a forum also. We do have, since you said that, we actually have several new vendors this year for the first time coming to Hamcation. One of them is Rabbit Laser USA. For the people that do go to Hamvention, they're the ones that engraved the cups, the Yeti cups for people that was in their actually prize booth area also. They will be at Hamcation for the first time. And probably the biggest vendor we're getting this year is Bengali Keys is actually coming over.
Oh, nice.
Time this year.
That's
Very
super
good.
dangerous. I can usually avoid them once a year, but I don't know about twice a year to buy a key. So this is going to be a dangerous one, Michael.
Yeah. So, and we have a lot more vendors. Those are just some of the bigger ones that I know off the top of my head that are coming.
Pretty much sounds like if you can't find something to grab your attention at Hamcation, you're not really trying.
That is true. So there's a lot of walking, and we do have scooter rental also for the ones that can't walk. You can go on the website, and there's a spot there that you can rent scooters.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm sure that I've probably forgotten some questions to ask. So, Amanda, Josh, if you guys have anything else that you'd like to fill us in on and ask of things that I have, because I have literally I've never been to Hamcation, and so I'm learning all kinds of cool stuff just kind of by osmosis here.
I have one question.
Go ahead, because I got a couple. Yeah.
Michael, are you going to tell us what all the big prizes are? What's the reason to go to win the prizes? So
yeah.
All right. Some of the big prizes this year is ICOM has come on as the platinum sponsor. They are actually donating the grand prizes for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And what we did this year, we've actually done grand prize packages. So it's just not a radio alone.
Right.
So on Friday, it's actually the ID 52. With that, you actually get the handheld speaker mic, you get a Bluetooth headset, you get an extra battery, you get the drop-in charger with it also. So that's your Friday grand prize.
Nice.
Your Saturday grand prize is an excellent grand prize for somebody that's doing POTA. So you get an ICOM 705, you get the RSB1 remote control software. You get the AH705 antenna tuner. You also get the ICOM backpack that goes with it. And to top it off, you get the AL705 magnetic loop antenna. So it's a whole package for going out and working portable operations. And then on Sunday, the big prize is the ICOM 7610 with the remote control software. You get the SP41 base station speaker and the SM50 desktop microphone with that.
Wow.
So
that is amazing.
Saturday, Sunday grand prizes this year.
Very nice.
Thank you to those sponsors. Thank you, ICOM. And one more. This is just a funny question. How do I get an assistant that will just pass me the information as I'm talking on the camera?
Yes.
Can I get one of those?
A disembodied hand.
Josh, take it away.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of jokers in the chat, but there was a kind of comments on. Have you ever had any issues with like an alligator joining the party at Hamcation or anything like that?
That's a valid question. It's Central Florida.
It comes up. I'm seeing a lot. I didn't see one when I was there, but you tell us, Michael. You've been doing this for a while. What's the story there?
We do have a lake here, and pretty much what we say in Florida, if there's a body of water, there's probably an alligator in it. Yep. There is signs around the lake, no feeding the alligators. So I haven't seen any on land, but I do know there is some in the lake.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a valid question. I mean, if you ever watch the PGA golf event from New Orleans, they always have alligators on the side, and so there's no difference between South Louisiana and Central Florida. Yeah, they're always around.
The lake is pretty good size, and it's on the north end of the fairgrounds.
Yeah,
it's very pretty actually. When I was there, I went away a little bit and I took some pictures of because it's I don't see stuff like that here in California, let alone that much water to begin with. But it's a lot. It was very cool. So no. Well,
it's probably the wrong time of the year. It's probably the wrong time of the year for them to be very active anyway. It's February. It's still wintertime, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But then winter here is 80 degrees, so.
Right, that's true. That's true.
It's party time for alligators all the time is what you're saying.
Pretty much.
not below zero like here.
No.
Correct. So,
Well, this is a bucket list thing for me, Michael. I'm going to make it one of these years. I promise you I will.
We're hearing lots of people that are going. They're excited. So I'll see you all there. In case anybody was wondering, I'll throw to me for a second. We've got a couple of comments on, where some of us are going to stay. I'll be at the Rosen Hotel. Actually, Michael recommended that. And is there still a group deal for the Rosen right now, Michael, if people are still, have not made their plans yet?
I believe at this point, if there's room still available, yes, they will give the group rate. But if the hotel is sold out, they will not.
Okay. So for everybody that's asking, the YouTubers will probably plan something on one of those evenings and get together. And it'll probably be around that area. So just keep an eye out on the socials. But yeah, thank you for the recommendation there, Michael. And the website has all the info for those that are coming on out and where they're thinking about staying. So make sure you go check that out. And we have the link in the description for you too, so you can follow along there.
Correct. One thing I did forget to mention, though, we do have another sponsor, which was actually DX Engineering, come on as a bronze sponsor. And they've actually donated 10 $100 gift cards for DX Engineering. So nice. People check that out also.
Great folks. Great folks. Michael, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Give us a last word if there's anything we've forgotten. Fill us in on it.
Biggest thing is, I think pretty much everybody that comes here, whether be in Florida during February, then up north. So come down and enjoy some warmer weather and join us at Hamcation.
We did get one last question, and maybe this is semi-important because it's time-based. They said it's been over 2 weeks with only a week to go, and I haven't received my tickets yet. Are there mailing delays that you may know about, or what should they do?
Anybody that bought a ticket after December 31st, the tickets will be in will call.
Okay.
So at that point, it's on the website that anything after that point will be in will call.
So there you go. Go to the will call table.
When in doubt, go to will call.
And Michael, stick around. You'll get to see some of my pictures.
All right. Sounds good.
Very
Thank
good.
you, Michael,
Cauley,
for being here.
Thank you very much. General Chairman Orlando Hamcation. And Joe, let's see your photos of your Hamcation pics. Go ahead.
All right. Let's see if we got them. Looks like we're ready to launch a rocket. This was a few years ago. I saw a nighttime launch at Titusville is where we went. So you'd look right across the water at the launching pad. And actually got to see my first ever rocket launch. And it's quite an experience. That's a Falcon 9, by the way. And just an incredible experience. You can see it go up, and then later on you hear the roar of a thing taking off. I don't think there's any launches during Hamcation this year, but I think there's one before and a couple weeks after. But usually there are. So in future years, keep that in mind and look at the schedule. And even if there isn't a launch, visiting NASA is a must. If you're like me and all other hams that have always followed the space program, it's right there. And you can take a bus tour that takes you out by the launching pads. There's also a large building with a Saturn V that's sideways. And you can see the various components. And let's see here. These are the rockets that made up the original Mercury program. The small one was the suborbital, and the Atlas in the middle was the John Glenn first orbital launch vehicle. And let's see, and you can see a Saturn laying on its side behind that as well. This is the what took the shuttle up. And there's a special building there, and it even has a shuttle launch simulator ride, and it's not bad. I mean, it's not your theme park thrill ride, but it's really good and really kind of realistic, and kind of gives you the sensation of launching. And it's free. It's all included in your admission to the Space Center. The Atlantis Space Shuttle is also in that building. Now, this building is the assembly building, and that's where they're putting together the Artemis launch vehicles. And inside that other building is where the Atlantis is, and you can kind of get pretty close to it and see close up what the inside of the space shuttle really looked like. Now, of course, we're there for the Hamfest, and so you have all the major exhibitors like ICOM, Yaesu, Elecraft, things like that. So Ray will always have the latest and greatest. And from what I saw, he had something in his trunk a couple of weeks ago, and I'm sure it will be there for everybody to see. If you go to the theme parks, this is at Universal, guess where I am? Look at that, the cat in the hat. So had to be there.
How ironic.
There it is. That's where I parked, was the cat in the hat area. And you never know who you're going to run into at Universal. Back to the Hamfest. This shows up every year. This is a VHF, UHF, and satellite mobile operating post that he uses for roaming for VHF, UHF contests and so forth. Kind of a neat little setup. And you can see the chair in there and all the stuff. And it's fantastic. It's in a really small trailer, pretty easy to pull. Last year we did SeaWorld. And yes, I took all these pictures. This was a lot of fun. I had to turn the shutter up quite a bit, real fast to freeze them in action like that. SeaWorld is a little more affordable than the Disney parks, and it's a lot of fun. And there is Shamu, the killer whale. I caught him in the air, actually quite a ways up in the air. And that's worth seeing as well. And there's another shot of him. Back to the Hamfest, this is the Swaps building. And so a lot of the flea market is in an indoor building that's heated and especially air conditioned, because I was looking at the models and it's showing like 70s or 80s during the Hamcation. And so the Swaps building's a lot of fun, lots of good stuff in the flea market there as well as outdoors. Outdoors, you might run into something like this. Some stuff in really great shape. Some really interesting fleas in the flea market. Now, this is what we're going to be building a week from today at 6 p.m. in the Swaps building. We're going to be building this kit, and the build is completely sponsored by the Orlando Amateur Radio Club. So it doesn't cost the builder anything. You get to sit down and build a kit. This is a simple code practice oscillator. It comes with the straight key. And excuse me, even the battery. And it's really, really a simple kit. So I'm going to be able to use that to teach very basic soldering techniques. There's only 4 resistors. This one and this one are the same. And then these 2 are the same value, and the 2 capacitors are the same value, and the 2 transistors are the same. So the neat thing about that is it's really easy, and you almost don't need the instructions because of what I'm going to show you on the back of this. And it's really, really good practice for somebody who has never, ever put their hands on a soldering iron. So this is what it looks like in the back. And those 2 little bare wires that go from the speaker to the board are actually clipped off resistor leads. So we use the scraps that we make there. And you'll notice that there's 4 screws and nuts there. The code is marked on the left side of the bottom, and the parts values are printed right underneath the speaker there. So you'll notice it's kind of hard to see, but the values are also printed on the top of the board. So there's some reference there. So you can just look at the board and look at the parts values on the top, and you know what part goes where. So this is a really neat, simple kit. It's a code practice oscillator, and it comes from the 4-state QRP group, who sponsors OzarkCon, which is in Branson and coming up very soon. So that is the kit that we're going to be doing at Hamcation, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. And the neat thing about Hamcation is, I don't know if he emphasized this enough, there's a lot of stuff for your families to do while you're busy at the Ham Fest. So Josh, I think you get it next.
Happy New Year from ICOM.
Yeah.
No question. Go ahead.
I was just, Joe, you do so many of these. I was just kind of curious, how many people show up to learn about this every time you do one?
It varies. I did one in Leavenworth, Kansas, and I think we had 14 builders. The one in Oklahoma, I think we had 8 or 9 or so, maybe 10. And did one with the QRP group in Ashland, Nebraska a few days ago, and we had maybe a dozen. The one in Orlando is one of the bigger ones, and we are set up for 25 builders at a maximum. And I had 28 builders when I did one in Boston last fall. So
you kind of walk around the whole room then.
Yeah, I tried to. At the one in Boston, I had assistants so that I didn't have to move as much, and I did more repair work and hands-on showing people how to correct problems.
I got to tell you, it's very well worth your time to go and do these too. I did the one with Joe in Peoria a few years ago when I was up there, and that was a great time. I really enjoyed that. I don't know how many builders we had. We had a pretty good number in Peoria, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we had like 18 or something like that.
Yeah, it was a great time. So yeah,
Well,
if you've never been to one of Joe's kit building forums, you definitely need to go for sure.
If you think about learning to solder, it's one of those things where if you have somebody that's done it actually there with you, and Joe, you're like the best person you could learn from it. This from a kit building standpoint, an amateur radio standpoint. Yeah, I know you. And you do a good job.
Last year we did the FM stereo kit where we had the surface mount IC. This year it's just strictly through hole, and it's even simpler. And for those who live in the Orlando area, don't forget, this is 2 days before the doors open. So this is Wednesday evening. Mm-hmm. So if you're there early with the family on vacation, well, if you're done with the parks, come out to the Hamfest site. Just pull right in and park near the swaps and come in and build a kit. They pay for that though,
right?
What?
They pay for it, right?
No.
You just hand all that stuff out? I mean, I've been to like craft shows and stuff, and they're like, if you sign up for this course, you have to pay $20 to get all the materials.
Every kit build I've done, usually they pay for the kit. This one is special in that the Orlando Amateur Radio Club has sponsored it. They've covered the expenses of this. And so you just come in, sit down, and build a kit.
There was a couple of questions regarding that code oscillator kit or comments. Seems like the code should be on the other side of the key, with the key on top. And then somebody said, why is the code on the back side of the Morse code kit? Do you know why, Joe, maybe?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the guy that developed that kit, which is David Kripe, NM0S. He created it for us. I'm kind of surprised, too. I thought it should be on the top, but that's what he's doing.
I know the Long Island CW Club didn't make the code oscillator, but if you ask them, one of the first things they tell you to do is if you've got that sheet of paper with the letters on it, to get that away from you.
That's what I was thinking.
Because if you build a memory where you've got to decode in your brain instead of just hearing the character as it's represented in Morse code, that you build bad habits, almost like a bad golf swing.
Now, I've seen people use a chart where it has the simple letters all the way to the more complex letters on it. And a lot of people have different little cheat cards that are about the size of a business card. But the main thing is to get your hand on the key and start making letters.
Kind of seems like it's like what when I was taking typing in high school, the typing instructor said, "Don't look at the keys, learn to touch type, because if you sit there and have to look at the keys, you'll never not have to look at the keys." So that
we had to cover our fingers with paper. Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Yep.
But
Joe,
I would have held up my kit, but it's been shipped with the stuff, so I have my example with me. All that stuff has been shipped, and they'll start getting it tomorrow and Friday.
Joe, I think you should also try to talk some of these places into giving you a second forum where you can teach everyone about photography, because it seems to be a passion of yours.
Well, I like doing it, and it's a lot of fun. And sometime I'll show some of my state fair winners. My blue ribbon shots.
Yeah,
that would be fun.
Yeah.
My favorite, I think, is your QSL card with the Supercell on it. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Oh, speaking of photography, is everyone going out to watch the Green Comet?
When is it? Today? When?
I heard from my husband that it's in the next day or two.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got time.
The prime time, yeah.
Are you supposed to see something green fuzzy? I bet it won't be clear here. So
I think it's going to be cloudy here as well, and which means that maybe Unadilla Bill won't see his shadow.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Anything else, Joe?
Yeah.
Nope. Just see everybody in Orlando. When you see me in Orlando, I might be wearing my mouse ears, or something new, I might be wearing my Dayton Cat in the Hat this year. We're going to see how that works out.
I thought there was some kind of unspoken rule.
Yeah, well, and I talked to the people at DARA when I was there in December, and I think it's going to be more of a vehicle to promote going to Dayton as well, because people see the pictures of me in the hat. Right. So I may wear that. Oh, and if you're real nice and you come up to me and say hi, you might get a screwdriver. I just got 600 brand new screwdrivers.
Whoa. All right.
Nice.
They're handy screwdrivers.
Thank you, Joe. Have fun in Orlando.
You bet. And then I get to go to the other part of Florida later.
All right.
Yeah, we'll hear about that, I guess, the next time we're on.
Yes.
In 2 weeks, yes.
All right, I get to do the thing Gordo normally does. Let's hear a word from ICOM.
Happy New Year from ICOM. Didn't get everything on your wish list? Spice up your ham shack with one of ICOM's popular handhelds, mobiles, or base stations. These radios are perfect for working your favorite bands while staying inside or venturing out this winter. The IC705 is the perfect sidekick and QRP companion. Base station features and functionalities at the tips of your fingers in a portable package covering HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. This compact rig weighs in just under 2 pounds with RF direct sampling for most of the HF band and IF sampling for frequencies above 25 megahertz. 4.3-inch color touchscreen with live band scope and waterfall. 5 watts with the included BP272 battery, or 10 watts with 13.8 volt external DC. Single sideband CW, AM, FM, as well as full D-Star functions. The perfect accessory for the IC705 is the optional backpack LC192. The ID52A is a VHF-UHF dual band with D-Star and FM dual mode functions, and is the first handheld radio with a full-color 2.3-inch waterfall display. This radio supports conventional FM communications and D-Star simplex, repeater, regional, and worldwide calls over the D-Star Internet Gateway. Create your own band opening with the IC9700. This radio brings direct sampling to the UHF-VHF weak signal world. The IC7300 is a high-performance HF transceiver with a compact design that will far exceed your expectations. RF direct sampling, 15 discrete bandpass filters, large 4.3-inch color touchscreen, real-time spectrum scope, and SD memory card slot. The real ham fun starts here. Happy holidays from ICOM America. And visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on ICOM radios.
And big thank you, as always, to ICOM for sponsoring Ham Nation. You already saw the list of giveaways that they have going to Hamcation, but they give away a radio every month over at ICOM America. The link is in the description. And you click that little black button every time Ham Nation goes live to get entered into the swag pack giveaway. They're going to pick 3 winners every time we're live, and their names go in the hat for that monthly drawing. And once you're on that list, you're on that list for the entire year. So every time they give away a radio at that month, everybody who's won a swag pack, you are entered to win. So we're exiting January, so we wanted to tell everybody what the January giveaway was. It was the IC V3500. The 3 swag pack winners for this episode are Stephen Ray, Mike P, W1MI, and William B, K04SXJ. And the winner of that V3500 was Alex F, KD0YTE. So make sure every time we're live, you click that button to get entered in a swag pack giveaway to potentially win a radio at the end of the month. So thanks again, ICOM. Appreciate all you do for our great hobby. And I'm throwing it to Don. Let's keep it going.
All right. Thank you, sir. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, we do not have Dr. T with us tonight. Apparently, she's been kind of busy with doing Dr. T stuff, but you can always keep up with her Dr. T stuff on spaceweatherwoman.com, and also Tamitha Skov at Twitter, at Tamitha Skov, and the Tamitha Skov channel on YouTube. But let's go ahead and get into the news of the week from Amateur Radio Newsline. From Amateur Radio Newsline Report number 2361, this is Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, February 1st, 2023. A group of hams in Europe will be joining the on-air festivities in February, recognizing the role radio can play as a tool of peace among nations.
The United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, known as UNESCO, declared World Radio Day to be a celebration of the contributions this communications medium can make towards peace. This year marks the 12th such World Radio Day on the 13th of February. Although there is a separate day set aside to mark World Amateur Radio Day later this spring, hams with the EA Digital Federation are celebrating the medium with several special event stations. Operators plan to be on the air this year with special call signs between Friday the 10th and Monday the 13th of the month. The call signs are AO 1 through 9 WRD. QSL cards will be available for any single contact and qualify the operator for the Radio Clubs of the World Award, EA Net. This is Andy Morrison, K9AWM.
Innovative antenna technology is being featured as part of a CubeSat project underway in Arizona.
Students at the University of Arizona have finished their work on a CubeSat project that will be launched into low Earth orbit later this year. One of the innovations the CubeSat will use is inflatable antenna technology developed by one of the school's astronomy professors. By striving to stay in a sun-synchronous orbit around Earth, the small satellite, known as a CatSat, will remain in daylight through most of the length of its mission. Its inflatable antenna system was developed by Professor Christopher Walker, who serves as the team's science principal investigator. The inflatable antenna will be used for high-bandwidth transmission. The CatSat's mission will also include detection of HF signals from amateur radio operators around the world through its use of a whisper antenna. Those transmissions will be downlinked to a receiver at the school's Biosphere 2 facility on the Arizona campus. CatSat will also be collecting high-resolution images of Earth and providing data on the ionosphere. The project is part of NASA's CubeSat launch initiative. Reporting for Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Are you a satellite enthusiast hoping to go for the big prize with your contacts? There's an opening at AMSAT for a capable volunteer who can help with an important tool for chasers.
AMSAT's Gridmaster heat map has served as an invaluable guide to grid chasers using satellites, for those activating hams who need to be aware of which grids are in greatest need. AMSAT says in a recent weekly service bulletin that the map may be going away unless a replacement manager can be found. Paul Overn, KE0PBR, will be stepping down after 3 years at the helm of the project, in which he tracked grid rarity based on crowdsourced data from hams who updated him. Paul's Twitter feed, @GridmasterHeat, displays a color-coded map of grid rarities ranging from green, the most common, to red for rare. The map plays an especially important role in the pursuit of AMSAT's prestigious Gridmaster Award. This honor is conferred on any amateur around the world who works all 488 Maidenhead grid squares in the 48 contiguous United States via satellite and has those contacts confirmed in writing. AMSAT is looking for a volunteer to assume Paul's post. The candidate should be capable of collecting crowdsourced data and transferring it to a spreadsheet or some other format and providing updates every week to satellite users. For details, visit amsat.org. This is Sel Emby, KB3TZD.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Andy Morrison, K9AWM, Jack Parker, W8ISH, Sel Emby, KB3TZD, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation.
And I just wanted to take a moment to mention that one of Newsline's reporters, Mike Askins, Kilo Echo 5 Charlie X-Ray Papa, you hear him quite often on Amateur Radio Newsline. He is in very poor health right now. He's actually spent the last 25 days in intensive care, and he is now at a long-term acute care facility. He has been on a ventilator. He's got several lung infections and some other things going on. He's improving. He's off the propofol now and coming back around after spending 3 weeks basically unconscious. And he's becoming more and more alert every day now. And if you care to send him a Get Well card or perhaps a Get Well QSL card, I know he would appreciate that. His address is good on QRZ. It's Kilo Echo 5 Charlie X-Ray Papa. And it would mean a lot to me, too, because Mike and I have been friends since first grade, and we're essentially the twin sons that our mothers never had. So, yeah, show a little love to Mike Askins, Kilo Echo 5 Charlie X-Ray Papa, if you don't mind, with a little Get Well QSL card especially. I think that would be a nice touch, and his family would appreciate it. He would appreciate it, and I especially would appreciate it. So get well, Mike. We love you, and we expect to hear you back on Newsline and back on the radio at KGFF in Shawnee, Oklahoma, where he's been for 40-plus years. We started there together right out of high school in the late 70s, and he's still there running the place now. One radio job for 40-plus years. That's kind of a rarity. But anyway, our best to Mike, Kilo Echo 5 Charlie X-Ray Papa. And we'll have him back on again as soon as he is able. So with that, Amanda, I believe I shall turn the festivities over to you, darling.
Thank you, honey. And I will try not to cough too much in the microphone. Not sick or anything, just choke.
Oh, you're doing fine.
So don't make me laugh.
Yeah, don't make her laugh. Don't make her laugh.
Let's talk Bouvet Island. Okay, they're loading things onto the island now. We're seeing some updates, and Josh, if you don't mind, let's just go check out their Facebook page here. Where, he does dark mode. Okay,
of course.
I can
Come
deal.
on, who doesn't?
I can deal with this. It's no problem. Listen, look at some of their. I don't do it either. Look at some of their fun group photos.
Is this the recent media area you want
yeah.
Look at that. Freezing.
I mean, they look like they're having a fantastic time, which I would have to say the last Bouvet trip, I don't think they were having that much fun. So this is going to be a lot of excitement. And once they get on the air, so many people are going to have an opportunity, but do you really have an opportunity? I think my chances are very minimal here in Colorado. I don't know. Did anyone chat room tell me now? Did any of you work them last time when they were on the air on the boat? Let me know. Anyhow, this is an intense de-expedition, and these guys are doing this out of passion, and they're doing it for all of us. So just some reminders. Don't forget, if you do work these guys at all, even put one in the log, make sure you put a little donation. You can PayPal that donation. You can go to their website and do that. Also, they've got I think they have 13 team members. So, I was looking at their plans, and they're they're going to have 12 different stations set up by the time this is done and over with. So they're going to have 4 dedicated FT8 stations. So guess what? Now a lot more people have an opportunity to get them in the logs, which is going to be fantastic. They have 5 pilots on this, taking your questions and your comments and trying to help you figure out if you got in the logs. And then this is, Josh, did you read about this on Twitter? This is crazy.
No, what?
About Starlink and
No.
how you didn't. Oh my goodness. They put out like this campaign on Twitter, and they were invoking all hams to say, Elon, please relocate your satellites so that we can have Starlink for this island. And lo and behold, they have had some Starlink. So
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's pretty cool.
I found that really amazing. Now, I don't know if Elon even looked at them or listened to them, or if it was just
It just happened to work.
So it's been pretty amazing. Like this dude.
Hey, I appreciate this, keeping the beer cold with the ice down.
I mean, I don't know if I would have used a lot of room in my luggage for beer, but hey, whatever works. But this ship, I mean, this boat, it's really tight.
It qualifies as a ship.
It's really tight quarters.
Oh, wait, we're going to go back to a video. Hold on.
Oh, that's a no.
Just imagine being seasick the entire trip.
And that's 14 days on that.
Oh, I would be down. I'd be down
And then
so hard for that.
14 days just to travel there. And then you usually have to wait like another day or two for weather to possibly clear up. So you're just like chilling. And it's right there. And you can't get to it, right? So that's what happened in the last trip. And then they finally went and put some equipment on there. And then the captain of the ship said,
oh, there you
go. No. So, okay, see, I saw this whole campaign, and even Val was tweeting on it and all kinds of folks. So I don't know if you listened, but hopefully I just wish everybody good luck. But gosh darn it, people, do not work this DX if you don't know how to do it. Make sure you learn about working split. Make sure you know about your etiquette, and let them answer you. So when they call and you put out your call sign, don't talk on top of other people.
No.
They're gonna
do a lot of listening.
They're gonna throat punch you if you do that.
Crack your mic. This is the deep end of the pool right here.
Yes.
And also learn how to use Foxhound mode properly.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Because FT8 is going to be where a lot of the people with smaller stations are going to get through, and they can work, I think, like 4 at a time that way. And they're expecting to make over 200,000 contacts because of that.
I have a video on working Fox and Hound, and I've demonstrated it on my stream to explain how to use it. For
definitely
yourself, Amanda,
post it again.
And for anyone who's like wants to make a contact with them, by the way, this is kind of like a lifetime contact kind of thing. It's very rare that someone goes to one of the most remote locations on Earth to operate ham radio. So you can do this, Fox and Hound. I believe you can. You just need to learn how to do it, and it's not that difficult, but it is some doing. You got to go in and turn it on, and you got to know the process. There is a process to it.
Josh, while we were having the show, and I couldn't talk much, so I was looking on their website. I was looking for them to specifically say use Fox and Hound, but I do believe that's the correct.
And if they're not, so I'll try and make a video before they go live to kind of explain what you need to do. Fox and then Hound lines and split, because that's important.
Alan has a great question. Can you guys teach us how to work split? Man, I have to rip my camera off and I'll turn it around to my radio, but my radio is really easy to work split, whereas there's lots of different ones that aren't as easy, but Kenwood TS2000 can work split, 7600 can work split, 7300, everything.
Pretty much any modern rig can work split.
You're absolutely correct. So
when in doubt, consult your owner's manual. Look it up on YouTube. Go to your manufacturer's website and pull down your manual in PDF form. You should have that on your computer anyway.
Yeah. And I'm just wait for it. If you don't work split right, you're going to get somebody yelling at you that says, "They're working split, you a-hole." And they will they will not be that nice.
So I'll give a brief. Let me give a brief click thing on split. Split just means that you're transmitting on a different frequency than you're receiving on.
Yeah.
And what is it? Generally 5 kilohertz up.
Oh no, honey, not on this one. They're going to be working 5 to 25.
5 to 25. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to be on a center frequency that you listen on. You never want to transmit on their transmitting frequency. You want to slide yourself up so that they can listen to you separately, because they're going to be a weaker signal, and you don't want a good, strong continental U.S. station on the same frequency as them drowning them out. So that's why we use split. That's why it's so important.
But when they say this is really difficult, and it's just sometimes it's just a matter of luck. If they're saying they're working 25 wide, if that's what their split is, they're just kind of tuning up and down until they pick out a call sign. So it's just the luck of the draw, and maybe you can pick up on it and like figure out where they were. Maybe they're jumping 2 KCs at a time, and you can jump up with them and get in there. But those are the really busy hours on probably a very like 20 meters or 40. So
I think a really easy way to visualize split is think of it as kind of like working a 2-meter repeater. You've got a separate transmit and a separate receive frequency. You don't transmit on the receive frequency.
Yeah. Or someone will let you know you're not doing it right. So
Adrian got a package of these a year ago from me when I met him in Orlando, and every one of the people on the expedition have a genuine K0NEB screwdriver with them on the island. This is for real.
Great.
Fox and
for chipping their way out of the ice.
That's it, yeah. So there's a question on Fox and Hound. Fox and Hound is a special mode of FT8. What it allows the transmitting station to do is be the fox, and the hounds chase the fox. The fox is operating at a lower frequency set, right? And they can basically operate 5 simultaneous transmissions. And when you're running fox, you get a pile-up, a listing of all the hounds, and you click on them and kind of work through them. So the pile-up will be really, really big. And as the hounds, you kind of just keep transmitting, but you need to be, I think, north of
1,500.
1,500, yeah, 1,500-ish north of whatever that center frequency is. And that is where you kind of need to stay. When they start to broker the conversation with you, they'll reply directly to you. So it's kind of like split. You don't want to operate on that low side of 1,500 so that you're not stepping on anybody.
But the neat thing is they can make 4 at once.
Yes, I do.
They can do 4 or 5 at once.
Yes.
Now, what's interesting is they're going to be running only 100 watts on FT8. And if they're, let's say, running 4 streams, each stream is equivalent to 25 watts. And if you can hear them, that's even more amazing. It's QRP. And they are not using the normal, somebody, in fact, mentioned this in the chat. It's not the normal FT8 frequency. I think it's like on 20 meters, 14105 or something like that.
They're not going to be on
so you will
regulation.
have to change that in your WSJT-X program.
I have that in the video too. I have that in the video, and there's actually a way you can name it. So you can name it like Bouvet, and you can click on it, and boop, it'll take you right up to it.
Very cool.
That's in the newest version.
Yeah. Well, but you could still have set that in the past, too, to whatever frequency you wanted to.
Just get the newest version before you try to update.
Please do update your WSJTX software. Make sure you go to the website for Bouvet, the DXpedition, and follow their band plan if it's listed. You should just print that out and have it with your radio, too.
There you go.
Persistence is key. Impatience will probably make you make mistakes and piss some people off and possibly belabor everybody making contact. So just take your time with it. They are going to be there for what, 3 weeks? 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Is it that long? I didn't know that.
How long are they going to be there?
I was
22 days, I think, is what they said.
There you go.
That's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's 3 weeks.
They plan on having everything from I think at least 10 through 160 and numerous stations, and they are going to be working their high knees off.
Yeah.
Unless I get through before I head south, I will only catch about the last week of it. But then the pileup shouldn't be quite so bad.
They might, but then they start asking for at-nos.
Which it would be for me.
Well, me too. Does everyone know what at-no is?
No, go ahead.
ATNO.
All-time new one.
All-time new one. So when you hear them calling for an atno and you don't have them in the logs, call. Just do it. Try to get them in the logs. So it'll be. I don't have high hopes, you guys. I have a great station. I don't think it's going to happen for us.
Oh, come on.
FT8, you'll get it.
FT8. Yeah.
I can hear them on CW on the boat.
Oh, could you? Oh, that's nice.
I worked one down in a big one down on the coast of Africa. Actually, I think it was either Ray Novak or it was Charlie Wooten who was the operator and I actually got them on sideband 100 watts. So it can be done.
Mozambique?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know how to pronounce this.
Yeah, Mozambique. I think it was.
My friends have
got the card somewhere around here. It can be done. It just takes luck and persistence.
My friends have been putting so many DX in their logs lately. Congo, just never mind. I just haven't had time. Do you guys know Office Depot closed down here in Canyon City? So now I'm like, we're overran. Anyhow, we got to talk about the AM rally because this is very important and this is a really fun sport. So, Josh, thanks for
no problem.
Doing
Sorry
all of that.
No, we're good. I was running along. Here you go. AM rally.
Yeah, so this is going to take place this weekend, and you can see little archaic website, but it has all the pertinent information that you need. That's the important part. So go to AM Rally, and first thing they have is the countdown of when this starts, and then they kind of have what the expectations are and what their hopes are for this, right? And then they go into, I think, Josh, I apologize. It's just not very clear to me, so I can't see it very well.
Just call it. I'll try and find it.
You know what? I'll just jump over to their website and we'll follow along. So they're going to talk about how many points you get for every AM contact that you make. And then you have an exchange, like most contests, right? So if you're an A, you're a vacuum tube commercially made. B, vacuum tube homemade. So your call-ins are going to be an A, that kind of thing. C, solid state commercially made. That's going to be my 7610, your 7300s, that kind of stuff. So have fun. Try to get on the air and listen once again, because a lot of these people are seasoned operators that have been working AM since 1960. That's not a lie. And they are really proud of the rigs that they use to operate on AM. And they're going to want to know what you're operating as well. And they'll probably have a little bit of a conversation. I don't think they're really fast contesters or anything like that. But the next thing we need to do is find out what kind of power you're using now. Like a 7610 and things like that, when you go to AM, it goes down to 25 watts. So you're kind of considered QRP almost, but you're not. You just don't get the full power. And I am at a loss of where they are showing what frequencies people should be operating on.
Well, it's like a contest,
standard
right?
AM windows. Yeah.
No.
AM.
They want you to use the AM window.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So sure.
Okay. So
that's easy enough to find. Yeah.
It is actually. Do you know how you can find it with the new commercial radio? You look on the waterfall because you're going to see the little butterfly, and it's a beautiful. That's what I call it.
No, you're.
It's just like
it's
this
carrier and both sidebands. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It looks really nice, and it's such a gorgeous signal. Now, yeah, you've obviously heard broadcasts do the same thing, probably on 40 meter.
If you're used to looking at shortwave on your waterfall, it's the same thing, only a little bit smaller.
Yep.
I love it. Yeah. I think it's beautiful, and it's really.
And you don't
nice
have to have a boat anchor or an old broadcast transmitter to do AM. Every new rig has an AM button on it. Just push it and get to going. Yeah.
And a lot of people are really fastidious in terms of their audio quality. So you will hear some real broadcast quality audio.
The best audio.
Joe, you're talking about
hear some broadcast transmitters.
What is fastidious?
Yeah.
They're very picky.
Yes, they are.
Well, they're picky about everyone else's too. So, I've worked a couple of these people, and Bob Heil, as we all know, huge AM lover.
Yes.
And a couple years ago, he had texted me, and he said, "We're on AM. Now I'm inviting you to come up and listen, and maybe we'll let you work."
Don't embarrass me with your audio quality.
Don't embarrass me.
You know who else is a huge AM fan is Joe Walsh.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
big time.
It's one of
Big
their
time.
passions. They love to do it. So you're going to hear most of the AM signals on 40 and 80, but they do have an AM window on 20. And last year I did see a gentleman that was calling CQ, and that portion is around 14,283, which is weird because that's like in a wildly popular part of the band, but that is their agreement of using that part for AM.
Yeah.
So you guys and your nuts and your QSOs that you're used to doing every weekend, maybe avoid it this weekend in that about 10 KC area. They're going to interfere with you too. So
QSY, feel free
Yeah,
to move
just
the
move up a little
frequency
bit.
around.
Yeah.
It's you'll
Hoda.
survive. You'll survive.
Hoda.
It's okay. You can steer clear of that space. It's all right. One weekend's fine.
And AM has an entirely different style of operation
It
too.
does.
It's not the quick back and forth. It's the long key down.
Oh yeah. Okay. Don is being so polite right now. He is trying to say that.
They're chewing a bit of the rag.
It's a very relaxed. It's a very relaxed, very relaxed way of operating. It is the long. You put a brick on the microphone and you sit back and drink your coffee and you tell whoever it is you're talking to for about 7 or 8 minutes worth of stuff, and then you ID and you unkey, and he comes back and does it. Now it might be a little bit quicker during the AM rally, but that's the typical. That's the typical AM QSO that you hear. It's very relaxing and very refreshing.
It's almost a matter of pride that they can key down for that long and talk.
Exactly.
Right. That's
exactly.
kind of an innate.
Right.
And that's why some of them use converted broadcast transmitters.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, and Bob knows them all. He knows every single one of them that are daily operators, and he knows exactly what. And they all have a room full of choices on these, so it's really amazing. Get to know some of them. Just don't go in. What's the word? Don't be cocky. Just be nice and willing to learn from them.
Exactly. Go in, wanted to learn, have some fun, treat it as a learning situation.
All right.
Yeah, AM's fun. AM's different. AM's fun, and go out and have fun. It's another aspect of the hobby that you may not be familiar with, and yeah.
Did we mention everything, Amanda? Is there anything else that we need to mention? They got an output. I want to pull this up really fast. The output class, so you can. If you're QRP, 5 watts or less AM. Could you imagine doing that?
No.
Oh wow.
There's a 4-state kit called the Nouveau 75 that is 75. AM.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. Yeah, so there's a.
That'd be fun to turn the power down and see if you could make it QRP on one of these modern rigs.
I guess we should probably remind people too that if you're running AM, it's a little bit less efficient on how well you get out than single sideband, but the fidelity is higher in the audio quality generally.
Yeah,
of course, it's based off a microphone.
I'll have to turn down
You'll
the
hear
KPA
it. You'll hear it when you guys tune in.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun time. The only other thing I had, and I handed out like maybe 5 contacts, so I feel really bad. But did anyone else here play in Winterfield Day? Did anyone else have fun with it?
I did not.
Yeah?
This is the first year I haven't. I was too busy with family
Josh,
stuff.
I thought you were going to go out
This is
to your
my
dad's.
jam. I know. Well, he like did the break an arm thing at my house after Christmas. He's been laid up with me for like over a month, basically.
Oh,
we
my
finally got
goodness.
him packed and on his way back up the mountain. And once he was out of the house, we're like, okay, we got other stuff to do. And then everybody got sick. Immediately, everybody got the flu. So I've been.
Well, that's not ideal.
No, none of this last weekend was good at all. It was bad. It was bad.
Well, I saw some fantastic setups again on Facebook. So looks like they had a lot of fun. I mean, Pikes Peak Radio Amateur Association, they have this huge canvas tent. They had a stove in there. They went crazy. So that was really fun of course, section manager stuff here. I like to just say hi to my Colorado station. So I was played on 40 for a little bit, but that's about all I did. So anyhow, next year, there's always next year.
Yep.
Okay. Now we are seriously done with all announcements. I don't know if we have any more questions. Haven't been paying attention. Did Josh know? No, Josh did not make it to Quartz Fest.
I made it nowhere because I'm going to Hamcation next week, and I can't be like, hey, wife, you've got the flu right now, and you feel horrible. I'm going to go and be, cold somewhere. Bye-bye. Enjoy the kids who are also sick. That probably wouldn't fly to then also survive leaving to go to Orlando in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're sleeping underneath a bus somewhere at that point in time.
Yeah. If you need something, honey, call someone else. I won't be here. Bye.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that don't work.
Hope you knew your kids well. Okay, so...
You'll never see them again.
But that's all we have. Let's go over the nets. Steve, he should be on 80. Kevin, 7192. We got 14 Charlie for D-Star. So there you have it. Join in. And guess what, you guys? We only went 11 minutes over. I didn't even think we had enough.
What's the frequency on 80 for the net? Do you know? The 80-meter frequency? Off the top of your head? I know. I'm sorry. You didn't know there was going to be a quiz.
I will say.
I don't know.
Okay.
I will say.
I'll find it.
You know what? He uses NetLogger. So if you have NetLogger.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. I'll pull it up. I'll try to get on to that.
Okay, go ahead, Josh.
I was going to say, there's so many people in the comments right now talking about being at Hamcation. I will see you all there. Come and say hi, and I'm super excited again to get out there. Like I mentioned, we'll probably pick a day. It might be Friday. It's probably going to be Friday, where we might meet up with everybody after hours and do something fun. Hamcation is kind of like a chill ham fest. We kind of figure it all out when we get there. So those that are in town, you'll know when we know, kind of thing. So yeah, just come say hi. But
it's in Florida. It's kind of like being in the Caribbean. You're on island time.
We're on we're on peninsula time.
It's exactly. Take it as it comes.
That's it.
We'll see you there.
Ayriman.
You guys have a fantastic time.
Wish me luck. I'm on Southwest.
Okay. Well, best of luck, Joe. Best of luck. Marty Santic, I saw your question a couple of times. Can I do Fox and Hound without rig control? I am not sure. Actually.
Yeah, tell it fake it.
Yeah, I think okay, do fake it. Well,
yeah, if you do fake it, it just audio offsets.
But as long as your center frequency is accurate on the posted one and you use fake it, you might be okay, but
I think it works.
I guess you got a couple of days here to get cat control.
Yeah, try to figure it out, because you do not want to risk not getting this contact for not investing in just a little bit. So
get a digi.
I'm going to go on Ham Radio Crash Course. I'm going to look up that Fox Hound video and see what I can.
It was actually, I went back and looked. It was the video telling people how to do Fox and Hound, because I was going to go activate the Last Man Standing set using Fox and Hound. So I told everybody how to do it before I went and did the activation. So,
it's been a while then, hadn't it?
I did that twice, and it worked out wonderful. Yeah. I made lots of contacts real quick.
Cool. Yeah, it's the same setup. Fox and Hound is pretty simple once you get the idea. But okay, guys, thank you so much for listening.
That's it.
And we'll talk to you again.
Don, thank you for handling that interview.
Yes, thank you for jumping in there.
And also, once again, thank you to ICOM for sponsoring this. We appreciate you, Ray.
Yeah, we love ICOM.
All right, thank you.
We even like Ray a little bit.
Yes,
we really do. We love Ray.
All right, everybody, we're saying goodbye. 73.
73.
Good night, 7-3.
All right.
I'm going to put this in my flight bag, so you make sure you get this.
All right. I'll be there. I'm excited. I got to start packing my bags just so I make sure I have everything. So.
And the lid should just snap in perfectly.